Hello, everybody. My name is Alexandra Janelli at Theta Spring Hypnosis and Coaching here in New York City. I was recently asked by one of my viewers, why do hypnotherapists snap their fingers? It's a great question, and there's really no answer directly to it because it can be used in a couple ways. But I thought it would be interesting to tell you a little bit about why some people do it. You might find in stage hypnosis shows that the stage hypnotist will more often than not say, in a moment, when I snap my fingers, something's going to happen. So this becomes an auditory cue of anticipation for the person being hypnotized to prepare mentally in some ways. And then the conditioning continues where every time they hear the snap, they know something's going to happen. And so they become acclimated to the idea that the finger snap becomes them doing an action. In some ways, it's kind of like Pavlov's dogs, how when they hear the bell, they knew that they were going to get a treat. So the same thing becomes a conditioning tool for the person being hypnotized, being used by the hypnotist. What I actually use the snap for is not necessarily to prepare a client, but it's also a jarring technique that you can utilize. So let's assume that a client comes in for smoking cessation. And the client is deeply relaxed because remember, hypnosis is a deep state of relaxation with an acute focus. So you might have them begin to imagine and think about when they're going to smoke a cigarette, and they're already relaxed, right? So when you go to smoke a cigarette and you have the cigarette in your hand, you're going to hear no. And it jars them and creates this almost anxious feeling along with the word no and a snap. So you're triggering in a couple auditory and sensory reactions to happen within the mind and the body that become analogous and triggered in with the smoking. So that anytime they have the thought or the drive or the urge to smoke, they're going to be met with a different neurological pathway that can actually potentially, not always, create an anxious reaction to smoking so that the client will not want to smoke and instead they'll begin to choose the no, right? So once you snap them, you sort of jar them up, you make them anxious, and then you bring them back down to a relaxed state of, I don't need that. And so you're bringing them back down to the relaxed state. So snapping can have a couple different uses. Sometimes clients can get very aggravated with it, so it's always important to make sure that you're working with your client to understand how they responded to it, or even let them know why you utilized it afterwards, because an informed client is always the best. And you don't want to sort of upset them, lose rapport, because remember, rapport is one of the most important things when you're working with clients in hypnotherapy. Anyway, I hope that answers your question a little bit as to why clients and hypnotists take in and utilize the snap. And I'd love to hear what other people think about the technique, and if you've used it before and you're a hypnotherapist, I'd love to hear why you use it. My name is Alexandra, here in New York City with owner and practitioner at Theta Spring Hypnosis. Have a great day.